welcome back to Behind the Badge. And today we're here in the patrol unit, and I have a special guest with me. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself.
My name is Lieutenant Carl Wile. I'm the Campbellton C Squad patrol lieutenant. I've been with the police department 24 years and been back on this assignment now a little over a year.
What made you want to be a part of this department?
The unit, in today's day and age, a lot of times you get promoted and they need somebody of that rank at some place and you're a qualified person for it. A lot of times it's just there's a move. The command structure, command staff, assigns persons to be there. It's not necessarily I want to go to that one. Mm-hmm. There are times when they might ask for interest in certain places, but a lot of times in this case with patrol, it's we're going to have a realignment, and this person's going to go there. Now, as far as the department goes, I worked in other law enforcement agencies before this one, and when I moved to North Carolina, I applied to some agencies. I'm originally from Florida. Applied to some agencies, and Fayetteville, quite honestly, moved the quickest in its hiring process, and here I am a little over 2 decades later. So that's how I got here. But I've been in law enforcement and worked for law enforcement agencies now for over 30 years.
Mm. When doing traffic enforcement, is there a set standard in regards to going a certain miles per hour over?
Generally speaking, the speed limit's kind of the speed limit. Kind of like a stop sign says stop. It doesn't really say slow down or go slow. It kind of says stop. A lot of times, though, officers exercise judgment with that kind of thing. There's no particular rule, but there are some things that you need to remember that are probably going to get you stopped by just about any law enforcement officer in the state of North Carolina. And we'll start with something as simple as, if you drive 80 miles an hour, I don't care if it's on the interstate, there's a fair chance that if there's an officer around that's looking to do traffic and speed enforcement, you're probably going to get stopped for that kind of speed. Mm-hmm. If you get 13, 14 miles an hour over the average, a speed limit pretty much anywhere, it's going to be, you're going to get someone's attention, a law enforcement officer's attention, if they're doing speed enforcement. So, and then of course, like I said, 80 miles an hour down the interstate or anywhere else is going to probably get you stopped. Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, there's no set standard really.
About how many tickets has your district wrote so far this year?
I pulled the first 6 months, and I'm going to look at my cheat sheet real quick. But altogether, the police department in general has issued 3,350 citations. Now that's for the whole police department for the first 6 months. That might sound like a lot, but in reality, with regard to the numbers of traffic stops, pretty much across the city, citations only happen about a third of the time. 33, 35%, depends on where. There's more stops in certain parts of the city than there are in others, so the numbers can be a little bit messed up. But across the city, it's about 38% of the time it's citations, at least this year so far, and then like 62% of the time it's either a warning or nothing happens.
And have traffic stops decreased due to COVID-19?
Mm-hmm. But based on what I have looked at now and recall from the past, I would say it's down a fair amount.
Okay. If you receive a complaint from someone about their neighborhood regarding speeders or people running stop signs, what does your unit do to control that?
We do a lot of extra patrols. The public is welcome, and we get a lot of requests from all over the city for things like speeders on our road when the kids are getting on the school bus. People run a stop sign in my neighborhood all the time. They just drive too fast, whatever the complaint might be. A lot of times with speed, we'll go out and put up a speed sentry. Mm-hmm. And that's out there for a reason. Number one, we want to collect the data to see if the complaint we're hearing is really true. So we'll run that speed sentry, which is a radar, and it sits out there and it records data. And it tells you, okay, over this period of time, this many cars passed by, and this was the average speed of the car. And if we say, looks like there's a problem out there, then a lot of times we'll have an officer go out, and we might actually work that street, work that stop sign, whatever it might be, to conduct active enforcement.
And what is the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is, since I've done it for quite a long time and I've worked in all aspects of the police department, I like the opportunity to pass on knowledge to new officers, sergeants, the new sergeants, or even training officers and that type of thing, whether it's regarding investigation or how we need to conduct ourselves in behaving with the public, how we need to conduct investigations. So I'm at to the point now where I get to do a little bit of mentoring and coaching and helping, and to me that's probably the best part of my job now.
Well, I would like to thank Lieutenant Wile for being a part of Behind the Badge, and we will catch you guys on the next episode.